Oscillators, a basic training by me, Nick Amy. So let's begin with what an oscillator is. An oscillator is an electronic circuit which is providing an output waveform that fluctuates between two states in a repetitive and periodic stable manner. An oscillator needs two parameters to function, a positive feedback mechanism and a gain greater than 1. This is known as the Berkhauen Criterion, and the loop gain must be greater than 1 and the feedback loop must have a total phase shift of 0. So in the diagram on the right here we see an amplifier. We see the output of the amplifier is fed back to the input, and on the feedback loop is a frequency controlling element. So that's something that acts as a bandpass filter. If we look at what happens when we start this circuit, you see a graph there showing frequency versus gain, and we see white noise because when you first start an amplifier there is some white noise inherent in the circuit, and an amplifier does its job and it makes that bigger, and so we have a signal coming out of the output of the amplifier, and as that signal goes around the feedback loop it reaches the input of the amplifier, and so it begins to have some gain. And quickly the frequency controlling element will filter out all of the noise except for whatever frequency it resonates at, and so we see a little peak begin to appear. That peak is input to the amplifier, and so on the output of the amplifier has done its job and made that peak greater. And so after a couple of milliseconds this amplifier has built up to give a stable clean output of a single frequency, and that frequency is determined by the parameters of the frequency controlling element, and so we have an oscillator. Quartz crystal oscillators are normally used in electronics at the moment because they give a very stable output and they're very well understood. So quartz crystals has a very high Q, so they give a very clean frequency output, and since it's been the dominant frequency controlling element in these types of circuits for around 30, 40, 50 years now, it's very well established in the manufacturing, so it's very easy to do large manufacturing in the low costs as is needed in the electronics industry today. So thanks very much. That was a brief summary of general state of oscillators across the industry, and hope for some insights into how they're manufactured and what to look out for them. There's some further reading here if you're interested, and we'll be doing a lot more of these in the future, so do check back for more.